Okay guys, so here I am today with my lovely assistant Evan, and today we're going to show you this really amazing trick. So first, I'm just going to go ahead and give the deck a quick shuffle before we start, and as you can see over here, we got the whole deck all pretty mixed up just like this. So Evan, go ahead and just pick out any card that you want. It honestly doesn't even matter, and I'm actually not going to look. And when you're done, just hold on to it, show it to the camera. Good? Alright, so place it down. Now, here, go ahead and just place it on top of the deck, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the deck just a little cut like this, so it's lost in the middle, okay? So remember your card. Now, what we're going to do is this. There is an effect called any card, any number, and this is sort of like that effect. You were just able to pick any card in the entire deck, and now we're going to generate the number for your card to be in the position in the deck. So now, Evan, I want you to just cut roughly half the deck and set it over here. Just go ahead and do that. Perfect, and then complete the cut. Just like that. So you just cut to a 7. Now, I did not even force you to cut to this 7. You just cut to the 7th card, right? Or I mean, to this 7 of hearts right here. Go ahead, hold on to the deck. I want you to count 7 cards down from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Flip over the 7th card. The 3 of spades. That was the trick, and now for the tutorial. Okay guys, so before I teach you how to do the trick, I kind of want to tell you guys how I sort of discovered this mathematical principle, where I found it, and how I just sort of created this trick out of it. So there's a trick by MissMag822 on his channel, and it is called Countdown. It is basically a finding the 4 aces, or a 4 of a kind sort of trick, where you lose the 4 aces in the middle and you find each ace in a very cool way. And to find one of the aces, you do this effect where you let the spectator cut the deck anywhere they want, basically, and the card value that they cut to, you count that many cards down, and that is where one of the aces is located. And whenever I performed the countdown trick, that part of the trick always got the best reaction, because that is just the absolutely most impossible thing ever. It's so impossible. So basically, I really wanted to create a trick that just revolved around that part of the countdown trick. So what I did was I just took this principle and I just sort of created this cool any card, any number type trick. And now I'm going to teach you how to do it. So this is the principle for the trick right now. So what you're going to want to do, I'm going to use the hearts, but get out basically the 2 through king of hearts, or any suit that you would like, but I'm just going to use hearts because they're very easy to remember. And what you're going to do is you're going to set them up in numerical order, but they're going to be descending. So it's going to start with king, and then queen, jack, 10, and then just going down the number scale like this. 5, 4, 3, and then the 2 of hearts. Now, the reason why you do not have the ace included is just for mathematical reasons, but once you have this set up, basically what's going to happen is you're going to take just any random card, preferably a card of the opposite color, and you're going to place this right there on top of your hearts stack, just like this. And this is going to go right here on the bottom of the deck, just like this. So this is what your deck looks like. Here, all the cards are completely shuffled, and then starting right about here where the king of hearts is, this is where your setup is, and then you have this cover card right here on top of your stack. Now, the reason why you have this cover card is if you want to show the cards all shuffled up, you can show the deck just like this, and you can just block push over like a lot of cards just like this, so you can hide this heart stack. So now I'm basically going to teach you what this mathematical principle is. So basically what happens, so you let them choose any card, let's say it's the 7 of clubs, and what you're going to do is you're just going to cut a small portion of cards, and you're going to be placing the 7 of clubs right here, right next to your stack. So now your heart stack is like right in the middle of the deck. Then you have a random card and then their card. So now what's going to happen is this. You're going to turn the deck face up, and you're going to let the spectator cut anywhere they want. Now, 95% of the time, the spectator will always cut to a heart. Now, it doesn't matter which heart they cut to. For this case, they just cut to a 9 of hearts, and that means the trick will work. If they cut to like a club or just any card that is not in your stack, then the trick won't work. Don't worry about it because it honestly does work every single time I've performed it. It works every time. So you just have to ask them to cut roughly half of the deck, and they should nail it every time. It honestly doesn't matter which heart they cut to, but as long as it is a heart, then the trick will work. So now I'm just going to teach you how to perform the trick in general. So you have your little setup here on the bottom with your heart stack and then your random card right here. So you can go ahead and sort of overhand shuffle the top 10 cards or so, and then just move them back to the top. So it will just make them random. Turn the deck over and then block push over some cards and show that the deck is normal, just like this. Square up the deck, and what I did in the performance was, instead of just spreading out the entire deck, because then they would be able to choose one of the hearts over here, and you do not want them to choose a heart. So what I did for Evan in this case, what I did was I sort of just put the cards here on the table and just sort of started to spread along like the top half of the cards, just like so. So as you can see, this is only the top half, and the entire bottom half is completely covered in a block over here. So naturally, the spectators will just most likely, they will like to pick a card that is just easy for them to grab and easy for them to reach to. So they will not naturally go and pick a card in this block over here. So they can go ahead and pick any card from the top half of the deck. So let's say they pick the King of Spades. Now what you're going to do is you're going to place the King of Spades on top of the deck, and you're going to cut, I'd say, about a quarter of the cards, at least that much of the cards, just like this. And you're going to swing cut that over, and this is going to go right there, and you're just going to give the cards a cut. So now they picked the King of Spades, and now what you've just done is you've placed your hearts stack exactly in the middle of the deck, and then there you have your random card, and then there you have their selection, the King of Spades, right there. So now mathematically, this trick should work 95% of the time, because what's going to happen is you're going to ask the spectator to cut roughly half the deck. So watch, I'm just going to do it randomly, just like this. And right there, I've just cut to a heart. So what you're going to be doing is watching if the spectator is going to be able to cut to a heart or not. So if you see that they cut to a heart, then the trick is done. You ask them to complete the cut, and then you just continue by counting, and then the trick is done. But if you see that they cut like way less than half the deck, and they just cut to a random card, then you're going to say, oh, I asked for roughly half. Try and get a little bit more. Try and get roughly half. That will make sure that they cut to a heart. And same thing for the opposite. If they cut way more than half the cards and they get to a random card, say, try a little bit less, try like half the deck, and then they can start over and then try and cut to a heart, and just like that, and they will cut to a heart just like this. So now mathematically, this trick will work with whatever heart they cut to. So if they cut to a heart and you see that it is a heart, the trick is done, and then you ask them to complete the cut. So for face cards, Jack, Queen, King. So Jack is 11, Queen is 12, and King is 13. So now what you're going to do, this one little move, it's called just a wrist kill. It's not even necessary, but what it is that you can peel the card up and then just sort of wrist kill your hand to hide the next heart. If you are suspicious of the spectator catching that you have the next heart just like that, right next to it. I mean, it honestly doesn't matter if you just want to go like this and then flip the deck over. It honestly doesn't matter, but if you want to be really careful, you can just take the card and then just turn your wrist over and then set the card down. So now they cut to the Jack freely, and they did this, and you did not force them to do anything at all. So the Jack of Hearts, you say Jack is 11, so you give the deck to them and they count 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and they chose the King of Spades, and the King of Spades will always be there at the card that they cut to. As long as it's a heart, the trick will always work. Okay, so let's try the trick out one more time, just using a random card and another heart. So let's say they pick the 5 of clubs for this case, place it on top, and you're going to cut roughly a quarter of the cards, just like so. And that will make sure the hearts end up roughly in the center of the deck, which is exactly what you want. So now flip the deck over face up, set it on the table, and ask the spectator to cut roughly half of the deck. So they do that, just like that. I've cut to a 10 of hearts, and if you see that they cut to a heart, then you're done. So now you ask them to complete the cut, just like this, and you're going to risk kill the card if you would like. Just say, you cut to any card, just like this, a 10. I want you to count 10 cards down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 5 of clubs will always be there. And that is basically this really amazing principle, guys. So it just takes that little setup. It's very simple, takes about 30 seconds to do, and then you can go out and perform this trick to your friends and family and completely just floor them. This trick will completely impress them. So go out, perform this trick, let me know how it goes, and I will see you guys for my next video. Bye.